guys, good morning. April 23rd, 9:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in New York. Bitcoin dumping below our support line. So what's next as panic is hit the market big time and people are freaking out. Everything I'm reading and seeing and watching on social media is doomsday scenario, but I don't buy that. So as Bitcoin is now closed, the daily candle just below our support line, what happens? Where do we go next? We went over yesterday this head and shoulders on the NASDAQ. Interesting, we've dropped 2% since yesterday's video. Yesterday's daily candle on the NASDAQ was 2.6%. Interesting that Bitcoin was only down 1.9%. So actually a little better performance out of Bitcoin. Now, we mentioned yesterday if the NASDAQ opens lower on Monday, wouldn't that be a coincidence that we hit the neckline of the head and shoulders? And as you can see here, I overlaid the VPVR. Look at this volume profile right here. Going to be massive support under the neckline. But wouldn't that be something if we wick down here on the daily chart corresponding with a potential NASDAQ bad opening to our lower wick support line? That would be something. If that was the case, we might see a capitulation candle like we saw here and here, excuse me, here, and maybe, just maybe, this could be some sort of bottom. Also interesting on the VPVR here on the daily candle, you see here, we are still above this high volume profile range. So I think that's something to make note of. I mean, I've never seen sentiment so bad and everyone calling for doomsday. I mean, we know the crowd is usually on the wrong side of the trade, but in this case, everybody I'm watching is negative, and that could be an opportunity. Don't forget, from bear markets, from big capitulation events, which we haven't seen yet, opportunities can arise. I I mentioned today on ChartSmart that I would rather see a capitulation candle than a slow grind down, because slow grinding downwards price action really has a way of denting investors' sentiment and people slowly just throw in the towel. Sometimes that's good, but a one blast down, a capitulation event, will really have people panicking, throwing in the towel quicker. Institutions have the tendency to buy on those heightened, fearful occasions. So, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to wait until Sunday night into Monday morning to get a good grasp on the NASDAQ futures Sunday night coming into trading on Monday morning before we're going to get any real proof or evidence of what the market has intended for us. But right now, close below support, looking at heavy support under this wick volume, this wick trend line here. So I find that interesting. Referencing back at the 4-hour chart, you could see here on this shorter time frame that Bitcoin is creating a bear flag. Now, bear flags are bearish. Just maybe if the NASDAQ does decide to break down and we do see a dump coming to our lower wick support line, that we see some sort of bounce, and 40K probably would be flipping into resistance. If we could get enough energy back into our parallel channel, back into this section, that would be a bullish indication. Also want to make one thing clear, that if the NASDAQ does dump and we get support from the neckline, that would be positive sign if we see some sort of bounce. However, if the neckline breaks coinciding with the Bitcoin price breaking below this lower trend line, that would be danger zone, and then all bets are off, because the most likelihood, if we break this trend line, we will be back down at the lows of 32,000. Maybe we could see a double bottom, But on the longer time frame, we will be testing the 29,000, and that is the line in the sand, as we know. So those are something to keep in mind of, that this whole scenario is data driven, dependent on the stock market at the moment. So hopefully the Nasdaq uh, holds this neckline, and Bitcoin will act accordingly. So these are some of the scenarios that I have in my mind here on a Saturday morning. But again, Sunday into Monday, I think we'll get a clearer view and at least some answers of what Bitcoin and the overall market has in store, because we're certainly coming off a tumultuous week. So once again, I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.